Q Time is a classic Atlanta soul food restaurant located in the historic West End. Q Time Soul Food is a family business started by Fred and Christine Crenshaw. Come on in, relax, and sink your chops into our tantalizing, mouth-watering, distinctive soul food with a twist, the Q Time way. 1120 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard, or call your order in at 404-758-2881. Do you miss your mama's cooking? Then come on down to Q Time, an Urban Passport member.
Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique to spice up your closet with trendy, unique looks. We have fashionable and chic looks at very affordable prices. Velvet Boutique offers free shipping all year long on all orders. Shop online at www.melvetboutique.com. That's www.melvetboutique.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique.
Majesty is a premium health and wellness tea line focused on bringing delicious yet healthy tea blends to the community. Filled with an abundance of vitamins and antioxidants, we work to blend teas with exotic spices and fruits to produce scrumptious and wholesome beverages. So check us out at mymajesties.com. That's MyMajesties.com. My Majesties, an Urban Passport member.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Sugar Chateau Desserts is a specialty bakery located in the Charlotte, North Carolina metro area. We will create delicious and one-of-a-kind treats for any occasion. Sugar Chateau is currently shipping cakes in a jar, offering a variety of different flavors in a single-serve container that can help you celebrate in accordance with social distancing. Place your orders today by calling 803-526-7895 or visiting sugarchateaudesserts.com.
The human voice has always connected audiences with experiences. Major brands all across America have trusted Kever's voice time and time again. Conversational, powerhouse, intelligent, and sincere. That's the voice you need for your creative marketing process. KEAVERSVOICE.com. Kever's Voice, Kever's Voice, KeversVoice.com. Always on, all the time.
Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah, man. I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavill, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball, So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavill with Inside HBCU Sports Lab with our special weekend edition, the Sunday edition of the lab. And yes, we have plenty of experts in the lab today. We had a full course of menu of HBCU, MEAC, SWAC, even the OVC game. So we're going to bring you and take you inside the numbers like we always do on this weekend edition. Welcome to episode 122, weekend edition of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab radio show and podcast, the show that's covering the sporting HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports, institutions large and small, from NAIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture and HBCU athletic aesthetic facilitate the story of HBCU athletic programs and the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta Cavill, along with my co-host, Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Mike Washington is back in the studio. He's still on assignment, so figure that out. Then we have our guest, normal guest, BJ Jones, the football guru, what we call the HBCU football analyst, bringing you hard and heavy. Got his football jersey up, so things must have went well for him yesterday. And then we have our other specialist, Alan Williams of the 1876 Sports and Culture. With that, good day, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all doing?
We're doing well. We're
doing good, man. Doing good.
Let me go straight up with it and say, Charles, you doing okay this morning?
It's tough. It's tough. Even my mom in here giggling at me. It's a rough day. It's a rough day.
I know.
BJ, I gotta say, off top, congratulations. Yesterday was thorough, as thorough can be. But I tell you what, it's one of those Sunday mornings. Happy Easter to everybody, but it's like I done got a rotten egg this morning. It's tough.
Are you having to talk people off the cliff yet?
Oh yeah. Oh God. Listen, let me tell you something. I woke up with my phone on fire this morning. From people venting and just I want to let everybody else know that if you got any more inbox, I'm gonna be on the golf course later. I get to you at some point.
Hey, coming from the Prairie View crowd, RELAX. Relax. It's just the spring. Relax.
I understand it. If people are venting, and it's some of it is to be expected, but I will say this: the "I told you so" wing of everybody's fan base. They've been in my inbox this morning.
Oh, man.
Well, we'll get into it. And I certainly wanted to give Charles the open framework to do his shout out and do what's necessary. And he did his right and did us proud with all that. Today's episode of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab is sponsored by THG Agency, LLC. THG Agency is a company that provides sporting and educational consulting and data analytics. And as Charles appropriately said to everybody, for those that celebrate, Happy Easter. With that being said, let me go to the other side. BJ Jones, how you doing this morning?
Oh man, it's a good morning. You much rather wake up like this than what we did against Arkansas Pine Bluff, man. And I was having to talk, people off of the ledge and having to tell people to relax. Very, very, very happy with the way the team played. We were missing a few key pieces, but the pieces that stepped up, young guys, they really played very well. And we got a chance to see some youth yesterday. Jacoby Papillon, was out. We know about Bubba McDaniel. He's been out, for the entire spring. And it's having some more guys out, and just to see the guys who replaced them, young guys, and they've really played well. Congratulations to Jaguar Nation, 8 in a row. That's big, in this rivalry. But really shout out to Jackson State, because those guys kept fighting in the second half, when they scored the second touchdown to cut it to 27-14. That, like I said, in the past, that Jackson State team would have just, say, hey, well, next week, and the game would have really gotten out of hand. But, I did see some things that I liked from Jackson State.
Let's hold up. We're going to jump right in there before you get into too deep in there, because it looks like you're ready to break it down. Much as chance before you throw out your knockout blows. We're going to give it a little tease, as we call. Let me give a shout out to some of our listeners, then we're going to come back and really break it down, because that is going to be the first game that we look at, because it was officially what many people thought was the HBCU game of the day. Shout out to Will Bowe. Jumping on here, Chuck Hunt is in the house. Stephen A. Miller, Jerome Jeep Sutton. Need to give him a shout out. Got a band shout out I'm going to do for Chuck Hunt in the middle of this madness in a lot of ways. Donnie Page, Alan Malone, Diane Weber. Happy Easter to you. Good Easter. Good morning. Christ is risen. Yes, indeed. Trudy Jackson. Donnie Page is checking us out. As we said, Keith Benton, Ralph Holly II is in the house. Donnie Page, Keith Benton, I said. Just wanted to give a shout out to all these folks giving us much love. To the bad part is that they have to play A&M and Akil Glad. Yeah, we'll show you that to the second part of the show, man. They already talking about next week's matchup, man. Hey, this is good. Derek Allen White, he been says, "What's up?" to me. So good morning, good morning. With that, welcome back, Mike. How you doing this morning?
Pretty good, man. I appreciate it. I am about 3,500 feet from the country of Canada. I am in Al's home territory of downtown Detroit. I'm about 500 feet from the Detroit River. Was up to see my middle son, play lacrosse. Unfortunately, last minute COVID protocol is really rampant in the lacrosse conferences, but got a chance to see him, catch up on some football and some basketball. So it's great to see you. Happy Resurrection Sunday to all of you brothers and all of our listeners as well.
Amen.
Appreciate that. So you back in Alan's home side. So Alan, let me go to you since he just spoke up the home front. How you doing, Alan? Alan, can you hear me?
He's frozen.
Yeah, he might need to go out and come back.
He's looking still. I was like, man, he look good there, but he looks still.
Yeah, he had that serious purview stare.
With that, let's go in so we can get into this first matchup. As BJ Jones started to break down in regards to some of the new people, which should scare the people in the SWAC in terms of just how young they were doing in terms of what was going on there. As everybody knows by now, Southern defeated Jackson State 34-14. Southern improves to 3-1 overall. That's 3-1 also in the conference, while Jackson State falls to 3-2 overall and 3-1 in the conference play. So it'll be fascinating. While Southern has some things that are out of their control, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show in terms of representing the West Division. Jackson State, although they lost that game, remember this was not a conference game, if you would, in terms of the standings. It was a conference game played as a non-conference game in a lot of ways. They still have the matches ahead of that will determine who will represent the East Division. So that's one thing that we need to get out of the way as we look at this. Let me give you some key stats before we get in there and let everybody kind of break down and see what they want to say about this matchup and their keys to the success or failures for one.
All right, man, I'm sorry about that. You know, I'm up here in Dallas and they still haven't figured this power thing out. So my power blinked on me real quick. But Mike, hey, man, as soon as it hits 12 o'clock, bro, walk up the street to Lafayette, Coney Island and get you a loose burger, bro. You ain't been to Detroit unless you had a loose burger from Lafayette. Now, there's one right next to it called American. Detroiters don't eat that. That's for all the tourists. You go to Lafayette, which is right next door. It's a little grimy little spot, man, but they're going to do you right.
Yeah, right around the corner from where I'm at.
There you go. There you go.
Man, now that's how you get the hidden secrets. That's what we do right here on Inside HBCU Sports Lab. We give you a full gamut of what it is. And in fact, those are some things that we're going to do this fall. We're going to tell you about Inside the Tailgating, which is a Mike Washington special. And then we're going to get a little surprise with Charles Bishop, BJ Jones, as they travel the circuit. They're going to tell you some of the places that you really need to go check out and eat behind the scenes. And don't be surprised if they sneak and show you some pictures of those spots as they around. So your stomach might be a little hungry when you talk about it. But those are the things that we're going to add to it as we get into the fall. We have some other folks, Brian and AD. Don't be surprised if they show up. Al is going to be moving around the circuit as well. So he has some hidden jewels to let you know around the spot. So we're going to all partake in this and share some love about some of the places to get you some eateries. And a lot of them will be African-American and Black owned. So really it will be a touch